Welcome to Views from the Hill, the weekly podcast where we interview Cathedral students, staff, and alumni. Welcome to episode 6. I'm Seth Mincer, joined with Drew Ditto and Jack Goheen. How you guys doing today?
Good morning. Doing good.
We have a special guest with us this morning. He's an NFL free agent and a 2011 Cathedral grad. We want to welcome Reece. Thanks for coming on.
Boys, it's good to be here. I appreciate the invite. Absolutely.
So this was kind of a last-minute invite. Reece talked to our senior football players last night. I was like, it won't hurt to ask to join the podcast, so we really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in town, so I hear you guys got a big game tonight too, so more the merrier, man. I'm excited to give back a little bit and just chop it up a little bit with you guys.
Yeah,
that talk last night was awesome. We should tell some of the viewers just about your football experience. Like, how did you get into football?
Yeah, well, one, I appreciate you guys having me there, and two, how I got into football. Basically, long story short, when I was a freshman, my older brother Jonathan was a senior here, so kind of had the luxury of having already known a few people from him. But for those who didn't know, I grew up in Carmel, and I was going to go to Carmel High School. All the boys were going there, so I didn't really have much of a choice. My whole family went through Cathedral, so I didn't know that I didn't even have a choice. You know, when I was going to interview here at Cathedral, go through the whole process of that, and then sign your life away when you come here. But basically, long story short, yeah, my brother pulled me aside. He's like, I see a lot of greatness in you with football-wise and leadership-wise, and he really pushed me through, and then kind of the rest is history. We've been rolling since.
So did you start freshman year?
I did. I started at linebacker, and then I tried to move to tight end, and then I broke my hand, and then, freshman year receiver. I ended up popping over at receiver and starting the rest since, so, yeah.
When did you really develop your passion for football?
Oh, man. I would say when I started here junior year, it really started rolling. Obviously, I won't mention names because they're my boys, but there were a lot of the senior guys that were there when I was just a junior, and I had to beat out, let's just call a spade. I had to beat out about 5 or 6 seniors to get that starting spot. So it was me, Stevie Wilson, and then Matt Pimentel, and then Kofi was kind of the quarterback as well. But that's when it really kicked on, and I put up a little bit of good numbers. And then my senior year, obviously, Connor Barthel, shout out QB1, him and I really started dicing it up. And then, from there, college took over, and that's when I would say that junior year is really, I was like, wow, I'm actually good at football. I can actually make some of this. So
like the competition elevated your passion.
Yeah, exactly, too. 100%. Absolutely.
So you have pretty deep ties to Cathedral. Your grandpa's Papa Joe Deslin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did that have to do with you coming to Cathedral?
R.I.P. He passed away when I was in second grade, so I didn't get too well into him, but I quickly became accustomed to, one, how he did things, two, through my mom and my dad and my brothers, and just really my whole family, because my whole family went through here too. I'm sure numerous other families can attest. But yeah, I reminded the seniors last night that every time you guys step on that football field, look at that sign. It's called the Papa Joe Deslin Field, and for those who didn't know, that is my grandfather. So it was really cool kind of to hear his legacy. He was here obviously before Coach Strife back in the day, and what he was about, what he stood for, kind of how he went about coaching his players and relating to players and getting to be their best versions of themselves on the field and off the field too. So super big honor. Obviously, I wish he was still here to see me ball, but that's life, and we just got to keep rolling. But RIP, obviously.
Yeah. What kind of traditions did you learn at Cathedral?
Goodness, I learned numerous ones. Wow, we don't have enough time to talk about all those. But the first thing is never judge a book by its cover, too. Coming from Carmel, all my friends, I love my boys who went to Carmel High School, but they just stayed in that general bubble, which one of the many reasons I love Cathedral is they pull from so many different sides of town. And for me, that was the best thing ever. I didn't know anybody coming in my freshman year, but, freshman football started off, and boom, I met my first friend, Lou Stanley, who was a St. Simon guy up in Geist. Would have never probably met him if I didn't come to Cathedral. And, yeah, never judge a book by its cover. Meeting all these new friends, leadership skills, serving the community, which I always love giving back, in whether it's a big way, a small way, or just making any type of difference. And then, just really everything in between, and just really being a big leader, not really saying it, but, doing it through action too. And I think as you guys grow, as you guys as men and as people, you'll realize that. And I know it might seem a little different now because you guys are still at Cathedral, seniors, you're riding high on your senior year. But as those years go on, you guys are going to continue to ball in college, and then after college, you'll come back, do the same thing, and you'll really see what Cathedral will probably look different than it does right now when you guys eventually come back, which it's kind of hard to because you guys have like millions of dollars getting rolled in here, but it's all good.
I think that does make Cathedral very special because I came from HSC.
Oh, yeah.
My freshman year, I could count on my hand the amount of people I knew here.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm friends with people all over Indianapolis just through football and the hard work we put in all the time. So.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, obviously you get a lot from Cathedral football, but how much fun did you have wearing the gold helmet?
Oh man, I still have it to this day. I can't wait to get my man cave rolling whenever I get my house, and I'm going to have all my jerseys there and my helmet, my first one there. It's going to be the Cathedral Fighting Irish helmet. And I'll never forget when Strife, obviously when the season gets over, you got to like turn it in or you have to pay for it. Hopefully he sees this, but I didn't pay for it. I just put it in the car and we kept it rolling. I wasn't going to pay for it. So, it meant everything. It means, coming together as a group, kind of like I alluded last night for you guys, setting a goal and really following through on that goal too. Never forget, again, my boy Adrian Artis, him and I were dying in 2 days. Like I was telling you guys last night, and this was in the summer before we even played a game. And I basically looked at him right in his soul, and I was like, dude, we're winning state. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to freaking do it. And, we did it too. So, wow, too many points, when you rep the gold helmet, but when you wear those letters across your chest that say Cathedral, like people kind of look at you and they kind of take notice because not of, what we say, but it's kind of the numbers we've put up, the things we've done in the past and what you guys are doing right now and what you guys are going to do in the future too. Super special, to say the least, super special.
How's the recruiting back then? Because I know now it's totally different. It changes every 5 years pretty much. How was it back then?
Yeah, different, to say the least. There wasn't, I know Huddle's big right now, and then, obviously social media is huge. You can just send out one quick link and you'll be good to go. For me, man, it was, social media wasn't too big. It was just, starting to become somewhat of a thing. But, God, it makes it sound like I'm like 40 years old. I'm only just 28. But, it was good. It was good, but it was different in the sense that just things have, like you said, changed every 5 years. Whereas now the platform is so huge, which back then, you had to make DVDs for film as far as being a receiver. Because, again, for those who don't know, I am a receiver. And then you had to send them out to schools, mail them and this and that, or somehow get them, in their hands when they came through Cathedral. Whereas now, you just send an email, you send a link, you send, your Huddle, whatever. So it's just so much easier now.
I mean, looking at tweets from like 2011, I don't think anyone knew that would stay there.
Right.
Like you see quarterbacks now in the league and they're getting banned from those tweets back in the day. They had no idea.
Yeah, it's the pro teams I've been with, they've and pro spring teams I've been with too. The media department does a really good job. They have certain companies out there, which there's a company out there for obviously everything, but they literally, say all of us are signed to a team. They'll go through our Twitters and they'll comb through maybe red flag tweets. Maybe you sent out a tweet back in the day that you're just being a kid, and maybe might look bad to yourself, your image, or the organization, and then they'll pull that obviously. So. Technology, it's great.
Was there any trash talking back in the day when you would play a team?
Yeah, are we talking high school or are we talking oh my God. But yeah, no, obviously Roncalli, we would play Roncalli and we'd get the MFers and this and that and the people from the South Side that are, that just hate Cathedral through their soul and all that, which, if anyone hears from the South Side, I have friends from all across the state, but yeah, obviously, yeah. A lot of good trash talk here and there, but it's all good.
So you were at UIndy. You were an All-American.
Hold on. We should show up the trash talk that Decatur just posted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a two-way street. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they posted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch this video.
Pull that up right.
There's a reason for that. Okay. Good.
2020 state champions Cathedral
state title number 13. Cathedral.
Irish.
Cathedral.
Irish defense is tough.
I guess it's kind of the Cathedral bracket. I'd expect them to advance pretty well in this bracket.
Decatur Central, they're looming out there. This number 1 and 2 in the state could meet in the sectional championship game. 3 years ago, Decatur beat Cathedral and then made it to the state championship game, lost to New Pal. And then the last 2 years, Cathedral has knocked off Decatur Central in the sectionals. Never count out Javon Tracy in that group. I think Decatur will be somebody to be reckoned with in that championship game.
Make no mistake,
we've heard all the noise, all the hype about our opponent on Friday. The number 1 team in the state. But this time, we get them on our turf.
Hey, we don't even have a home
When you
field,
come
so
to Beer Fair Stadium under the
Yeah, we don't need
Friday
one.
night, you're in for a 48-minute nightmare. The heart, the passion, the enthusiasm, the energy, the
I like
noise.
all these clips are
It
from
fuels
Playfield.
us.
Yeah, all right.
We've had this game circled on our schedule since the beginning of the year. We knew it would come to this. We've worked all year in the shadows, anticipating this night. And those who lurk in the shadows are poised to shock everyone.
It's time to go be great on the field. We've not done that yet this year and put 4 quarters together in dominating fashion. We've done it in spurts. We've done it in a lot of spurts. Tonight, go be great, just as you've done everywhere else.
Interesting.
It's a weird hashtag.
But we saw a lot of these last year, and a lot of them didn't work out.
No, not at all. Yeah, one of the obviously that. But then what flashes back for me is when we played semi-state down in Evansville Rights, my junior year. They had a guy, and it was me. It was Ted. Me and Ted were walking out together, and they had a guy hold his state championship ring up like that. And we, you always walk out in twos, and he stood right in front, in like the middle of us. So we had to Moses part the Red Sea, and obviously it's Evansville Rights, so they're gonna do. But it's good. They're firing up the crowd. We're all excited to see you guys just put it away, boys. That's what we got. That's what we're saying. Put it away tonight. Don't make it hard.
They said hashtag one more. Might just need to give them one more game.
One more. Absolutely.
So I'll go to you, Indy. You were an All-American, All-Conference, and Offensive Player of the Year. How'd you get to UIndy?
Man, just to keep it very short and sweet, I was really slow coming out of high school. And so I didn't get heavily recruited. I had a good amount of, probably 3 or 4 walk-ons, which I didn't really want to do. UIndy came in late to the picture. They offered a pretty cool deal. And for those of you who don't know as well, Connor Barthel, shout out QB1. Whenever I talk, I always got to give a shout out to Connor because he's a true testament to a lot of the success I had on and off the field too. But him and I were the same grade, class 2011 here at Cathedral, and we both got scholarships to go to UIndy. And I think he committed before me, which made my decision a little bit easier because we threw up so many good records here at Cathedral. And I was like, dude, why don't we just do that in college and just ball the heck out and let's just go, freaking run it up, which is what we did. And so that made my decision really easier. But yeah, long story short, I was pretty slow coming out of high school and didn't get heavily recruited, like you guys do now with so much technology as far as trainings, recovery, and all that. That wasn't so big when I was here in 11, but it is now. But yeah, having Connor there, it made it all the more easy. And then obviously UIndy came in and made a pretty sweet deal, so it kind of helped me out.
So did you always want to stay at UIndy, or did you ever have aspirations of maybe going to a bigger program?
I was there. The thought was always there, but the coaching staff at UIndy, shout out Coach Bart, he and Coach Keevers, who's now the head coach there, they did such a good job with welcoming me, and then my wide receivers coach, Coach Lynch, who's now at Ball State, they did such a good job of welcoming me. And the big thing for me and for all the athletes out there that are thinking about, going on from high school to college, that I want to reiterate is I want you guys to go to a place that they want you as much as you want them. And what I mean by that is, as far as a walk-on, and I can't speak for every walk-on because everyone's story is different, but you want to go to this program so bad, but what is that coaching staff throwing back your way in return? You don't want to be giving them 90% of your energy and they're only giving you 10. And when I saw that at UIndy, I saw that, okay, this coaching staff's meeting me more than halfway because they see greatness in me and they see what my potential. And also I can play early, and I can play. I did redshirt, but then that sophomore year I came in, I was the number 3 receiver, and we were rolling. And that's another thing that I want to piggyback off is, yeah, you want to go to somewhere where they want you as much as you want them, but you also want to play. You don't want to be riding that bench for 3 seasons. That's never a fun feeling, or just show up to practice. Obviously, you got to pay your dues no matter where you go. But if you're good enough, they're going to find you, 1. And 2, yeah, you want to play. You know, when I came out of college as well, I heard the line that it's golden to this day is, if you're good enough, they'll find you. And that's not just college scouts, but that's also NFL scouts and also pro scouts, no matter across the board too. So, yeah, that's what made UND so good. I was able to come in, play ball with Connor, you know, at a very high level for Division II, and, you know, we did some really good things there.
So I want to transition to, like, after college. So, like, while you were playing in college, did you always want to go to the NFL and go up to the big leagues?
Yeah, so I always had that notion, you know, obviously every kid does, but for me, man, it really turned on when it was probably my junior year when I started really breaking some records there and doing some really good things and kind of separating myself in a sense, not just at UND, but across the board. And yeah, I was like, let's roll with this too. So I graduated in 2016. I was a December grad, 15 going into 16. And then, you know, we did the 3-month combine training at St. Vincent's. Shout out to Brandon. He's the man. He's kind of the guy who oversees all of the athletic department there up at St. Vincent's, up at Clay Terrace, and then downtown. And yeah, it was just on from there.
Who reached out to you? How does that work?
Yeah, so that's a whole another process in itself. So post college, you don't have to, but an agent would most likely, you'd sign with an agent. They'd get you in front of, you know, scouts at a pro day, yada yada. And my agent, who I still have to this day, Justin Fairs, he's a local Indianapolis guy too, which I thought was really cool because a lot of the athletes out there, they have agents that are across the country, this and that, so they don't get to have that in-person connection, which I always think is pretty big, you know, chopping it up. Don't give me any BS, like whether it's good or bad, tell me how it is. And so Justin, he was the first agent to reach out to me. I did my due diligence. I did my background. He's part of, you know, exclusive sports group here, ESG in Indianapolis. And that's Buddy Baker as well. So Jack Doyle. So shout out to Jack, obviously. They just got a huge win last night.
Touchdown.
Yeah, I know. Tutties, right? Let's freaking go. He Gronk spiked that thing. But yeah, so that's kind of how it goes. Agent reaches out, you do your due diligence, and then you sign from there. And they kind of, you have to put up the numbers, and then they'll get your film in front of, you know, scouts.
At the combine, do coaches ever come out and reach out to you, like on the sidelines and stuff, or is it more after?
It was, so I didn't get invited to the NFL Combine, obviously, but for me, where I shined personally was at the I did the Ball State Pro Day, and they had a receiver there that was, you know, pretty big top, their guy or whatever. So I came in, threw up a lot of better numbers than he did at the time, and didn't drop any with the routes. And that's when my name was starting to really get out there in a sense because, you know, you go in, you do the training, you do everything you're told, you abide by you just do the little things each and every day, kind of lead you up to that moment. And then, you know, when preparation meets opportunity, I know it sounds cliche, but we've all heard it. It's so true because when you're getting down in that 40 stance, that's where they judge you right there. And we clocked it and we ran.
What was your 40?
It was unofficial, about a 4.52, man. And at the time I was 220. I'm a little leaned out right now, about 6'3.5". Yeah, so we were rolling, man. So it was fun. And a lot of big testimony. I know I told you guys I was pretty slow coming out of high school, but so my boy Greg Moore and Brandon at St. Vincent's, they basically taught me how to run, which was really cool.
Which was the first team that reached out to you?
Goodness, it was the Colts, ironically enough, man. And didn't stick long with them, but it was really cool to get in that locker room and kind of get a feel for the guys. And then I would say the second team, I guess, was the Titans. And I was down there for, you know, just a little, when was this, 16 and 17? Yeah. So, and that was super cool. That was a really good experience. That was my rookie year, obviously. So that I wasn't starstruck in a sense, but I was like, okay, we're here, man. Like, let's freaking roll. And, you know, did everything under the sun, got really, you know, good friends, I'd say, with Derrick Henry. He was my locker buddy about 2 doors down. And dude's a Coke machine on legs, man. So he is just a Mack truck. So, yeah. And so my time in Tennessee when I was there, I can't thank that organization enough. Mike Marlarkey, the head coach, for giving me that opportunity. and really kickstarting what was my professional career.
How is Derrick Henry? Like, is he a funny guy?
He's quiet, man, and we had a good amount of conversation when I was there, and just a good dude, man. Very good heart, very humble guy. If he's sitting here, obviously you'll recognize him, but he'll never talk about football unless you ask him about football too. And I think that's so cool. And another, all the athletes that come out of Cathedral here, whether it's myself, Terry, Pete, Jack, Ted Karras, Barthel, Kyle Kennedy, whoever, none of us really talk about football unless you're asked about it. I think that's a really humbling aspect of Cathedral High School. I've met other athletes everywhere, and they always lead into, they start talking about athletics first, which is not a bad thing, but I think we let you let your play and you let, what you've done speak for yourself. So when people ask you what you do or, this game and that game, then you talk about it too. But another big thing I love about Cathedral is the humbling aspect of it, the well-rounded individuals that Cathedral brings to the table. So, yeah.
What was a typical day like in the NFL?
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, we're most recently when I was here in Cincy, or not here, but there in Cincy, you're up at 7 a.m., you have breakfast at 8, you have meetings at 9, treatment if you're hurt for whatever reason, or, guys just like to go in the hot tub, cold tub, shock the body, get it rolling. Then you have meetings at 9, you have a team meeting, which probably, lasts around, I'd say about 30 minutes or so, just kind of slicing the day out. And then you break off into position meetings, going over new scripts, whatever, new plays, routes, etc. And then you have practice. And then on certain days, you have lifts. So you have to fit that lift in at a certain window. It's not scheduled. You have to go into the weight room and fit it in, or else you get fined. That's another good part of that, the NFL. When I was back, I'm backtracking a little bit. Our first preseason game, Derek face masked a guy. And if you always, after a game, if you have a white envelope in your locker, it's never a good thing, boys, because that's a fine. And that fine was around $15K for a face mask, just one face mask. And it wasn't malicious or anything like that. So it was pretty crazy to see that. Derek literally showed me, and I'll never forget that image. And I was like, is that 1,500? He goes, no, Reece, add a zero. It's 15,000. So it was wild. But to go back to your question, kind of, yeah, you have practice for about 2 hours. Then you come back. You have like a 2-hour window of treatment, lunch, again, getting the lift in either before or after practice, and then you have meetings again coming up, and then you have kind of like a glorified walkthrough. There's no 2 days, obviously, or any of that anymore, but yeah, and then you have more meetings on that, and you're pretty much out by 7-ish, give or take. So it's different every team, obviously, but yeah.
So getting fined, do you get fined for just all different kinds of penalties?
Yeah. So obviously that picture you have up there, it's kind of hard to see the bottom half, but you're not allowed to, and I'm trying to see if anybody behind us, there's Big Zay. Yeah. So that's where I was getting at with this too. You can't have any type of like skin showing on your legs. Like a lot of guys like to wear the cuffs on your calves or all that kind of roll, kind of like OBJ does with his socks, but the NFL has literally people, and it's crazy. You just see a bunch of kind of people on the sideline, but more times than not, they have a job to do, and it's like the fashion police, we like to call it, where they literally look and they write down, okay, number 87 has his knees are showing. So the refs will come up and tell the head coach or tell your position coach, then they'll tell you, hey, man, if you don't roll them up, you're probably going to get fined. So.
Yeah, I've always wondered, because sometimes players will just have their legs out, and I didn't think that was allowed. So are they just taking the fines?
Yeah, some more times than not, the guys are probably eating those fines because they can afford it and this and that, but yeah, I'm big on leggings, but that was a big college thing. And then when I got to the pros, they started, got to add a little swag, a little drip to it. So I was like, I love the rolling up of the leg sleeves and all that too. But I kind of got away with it because you just roll them up, and then when you start playing, you'd always tell the ref that yo, we're getting tackled, this and that. They're gonna naturally roll the frick down. Come on. So you got to get away with it too. You find your tricks here and there. So
How many fines did you get?
I didn't get any, man. I did not get any white envelopes, boys. So that was really good. So yeah, because you gotta keep all the money you get. That's the biggest thing too. So especially something so silly as a damn fine with whatever it is, whether it's a face mask is different because that's just the nature of a play, whatever. Not that you're going for a face mask, but
yeah, I can't believe we got 15,000.
Yeah, it was wild too. So now, yeah, the NFL tries, they try and take, the money any type of way, but you just no fines. Don't have time for that.
So after playing for the Titans, is this when you went overseas?
I did, yeah.
So how was that process?
Man, it was unique, man, because I still wanted to play. I knew I had a lot left in the tank, and I still do to this day. And it was kind of weird. So I first went to Milan, Italy, and then Vienna, Austria. Both organizations were great. They take the sport seriously. Their fans are so passionate. Still have great connections to this day. If we all took a Euro trip, we'd have no problem getting any type of love, period, in Milan and Italy and Vienna. So they reached out over Facebook Messenger, ironically enough, their head coach, and kind of talked to my agent. He was like, yeah, like that's a good opportunity for you personally. And we ended up winning the Italian Bowl, which is their Super Bowl out there, which was really dope. It was a great experience. Got to play, football, get some film. Was a stepping stone for me personally, obviously, to get back to the States. And yeah, I got to see some of the coolest spots in the world. For those out there who maybe don't get that shot at an NFL level, a CFL level, or pro spring league level, I would say don't rule out Europe, man. You get paid to travel, paid to play the sport that you love, and meet some cool people that you probably wouldn't get to meet worldwide if you hadn't had that football opportunity too. So I had great experiences, both countries, both teams. Nothing bad to say at all.
Putting football aside, I mean, just living in those countries, I bet it's awesome.
Yeah.
The food there is probably insane.
Yep. There's a joke. Well, it's not really a joke, but the wine in Italy is cheaper than water because it's just that's where it was. My first experience, here's just a quick story. So I'm, us Americans, we typically like to shop for like a week and a half worth of groceries, yada, yada, just stock up. Well, over there in Italy and Milan and really everywhere in Europe, they shop per meal. So 2 or 3, maybe 4 items and boom, you're out. My first time to this grocery store, I had 2 weeks worth. I'm stocking up. We're football players. We burn so many damn calories. We're rolling. And the cashier lady doesn't speak a lick of English.
Did you learn any Italian down there?
I learned a little bit here and there, but it's like it's either 50% they speak English or 50% not. One of the reasons why I love Vienna is it's very international, so you can get away with English a lot more. And I have about 10 to 12 angles behind me, like wanting to get to their dinner and after a long day of work, and they're probably looking at me like this American doesn't know anything. Literally my first day there, I'm trying to stock up for the week, and luckily this lady, obviously I don't know her name or anything because it's been so many years, but she did speak English, helped me out. Like I got all this because I thought it was like deals and this and that. She's like, no, you have to have the kind of like obviously the grocery store card to get those deals. So she scanned her card for me, and I was like, okay, this is a big culture shock. Welcome to Milan, Italy, Reece. You're almost burning down this this grocery store before it even gets started. So. Yeah, that's I'll never forget that story because I did learn a little bit of Italian. It could have came in handy right there, but fresh off the flight there, yeah, I didn't have much.
Did you ever miss living over there?
I don't miss living over there, but I did go back, 2 summers ago to Vienna, and I met up with the boys. I'll be out most likely, if I'm able to, if football doesn't conflict, out in Arizona next weekend because one of the boys who I balled with when I was over in Vienna, his name's Bernard Seikovitz from District 10 over there. He is with the Cardinals through their international pathway program in the NFL. Don't know if you guys know much about that, but they basically do a combine over in Europe. And if you're good enough, obviously same principles, scouts, they'll come find you. And he was allocated to the Cardinals. So super dope spot. One of his boys, who's also a Vienna or Austrian born, he's with the Giants. He's a little running back there. So, wouldn't live over there, but love the experience. If y'all haven't been over in Europe, or if you guys get a chance to, I highly recommend it. Hit me up if you're in Vienna or Milan, because I'll send you in the right direction. So, yeah.
Was football different like overseas than it is in America?
It was different. Obviously, the talent level wasn't there, but it wasn't obviously like an NFL level or like an Alabama level or anything like that. But it was still very competitive. Fans, like I said, were super passionate, and that's what drives any type of league is the fans. They're interacting, and their just loyalty to the team. It's ridiculous too. Obviously, we all know FIFA soccer's huge over in Europe. It's the dominance their NFL, but they did a great job of kind of embracing the American football. That's how they call it, and yeah. So the facilities were great. Teams took it seriously. I got my good film. Obviously, we did well, and then got my ass back to United States, But yeah, still have so many good ties. I love everybody from, Milan and Vienna to this day. Still keep in touch with them too. And yeah, they got to figure it out over there, to say the least, too. Over here in America, we work till like we're so strung out and this and that. Over there, there's like almost a rule, I think, or a law where you literally have to clock out at like 5. You're not getting paid for overtime, so you might as well just go enjoy the rest of your day. If you have a family, go home to them, and then we'll see you tomorrow. So I think that's super cool. So
were the European citizens like fans of your teams?
Yeah, so we honestly, goodness, in Milan and in Vienna, I would say Vienna. I'll speak on both of them, but yeah, they about 5,000 for Italy, and then with Vienna, I would say it was around 7,500. Which their stadium that they played at doesn't sound like a lot of fans, but I think it was pretty loud over there, man, and it was pretty cool too. And what they might have like, it's not like 66,000 or 67,000 up in Lucas Oil, but yeah, they were passionate. They were very passionate. So
on the is there any language barriers on the team, knowing that you don't speak Italian? Or
yeah, like how were the coaches?
Yeah, coaches were great. We had, which made it really a lot better in Vienna. The head coach was American, so he was an import. That's what they call us. So say, if us four go and sign to a team, Vienna, whatever, us four are called imports because we're the Americans coming to Europe, imports, yada yada. But so Vienna, Chris Kalakai, shout out to Chris. Still keep in touch to him to this day. Great coach, better person, and he was American, so that definitely helped. And then Milan, my head coach was Canadian, so he still spoke a great amount of English, and it was not bad at all. But yeah, you'll get those language barriers, guys who don't really speak English that are just super, super Italian, super Austrian, whatever. But we're in their yard, so you got to kind of show some respect and try to learn their language as much as can.
Is it ever funny when you're trying to audible or call check and?
No, yeah, they so it was, luckily for me, both my quarterbacks were American when I was over there too, which helped a lot. So yeah, I can't really think of any stories of like where it didn't help, but my quarterback in Italy, he was dual passport citizenship, so he was Italian and American, and he would call the play in Italian and he would call the play in English, and I would just listen for the damn English part too, because I'm not listening, like I'm trying to score, I'm trying to help this team damn win, and I would have to ask Luke, he's from New York, born and raised. I was like, dude, what's the play again? Because he would say it so fast in Italian because they speak a million miles an hour, and then say it in English, but sometimes I wouldn't get the whole damn play. And then so he'd have to repeat it to me, and then I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, we're rolling. But it was like literally a split second, and then you're good.
What was it like having to move from city to city and country to country for different teams?
Yeah, it was you kind of get used to it after a while, and that's just the price you pay for chasing your dream, man. And what I will say is, again, yeah, you get used to it, but you never get comfortable. You're always trying to like prove yourself, and not really prove yourself, but just make a statement with wherever you're going. Another big thing I want you guys to take away from, and everyone that's watching this, is never get caught up with where you're at in life. And what I mean by that is, if you're not where you want to be, that's fine, but do something about it to kind of get yourself out of that hole, or not even that hole, but that situation too. And that's my mindset that I thought everywhere I've been, and it's still true to this day. And I'm not going to think about, holy shit, I don't want to be here, or I'm not where I am, but I'm going to ball out here. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to do, study the shit out of this film, know this playbook inside and out, treatment to keep the legs right, the whole body right. And then on game day, I'm going to literally put my best foot forward to help this team win, get the great film so I can get back to where I want to be. And that's the one thing I want everyone to know is, okay, if you're not at where you want to be, cool, but do something about it. In the situation you're right now, just own that and beast it, and then you'll move. I guarantee it.
So, how was it playing in that, like the XFL and the spring league? Like, how'd like tryouts work?
I love that, man. So when I was in Miami for 19 and 20, and then got released, I heard about the XFL coming up. Didn't really know. I knew it was big back in the day, and my agent calls me, and he's like, "Yeah, Reece, I think this would be a really good opportunity. Again, get game film, get reps, and the draft's coming up in October." And I was like, yeah, I just want to, I'm balling, man. Like, let's go. I'm still in, I'm in Miami. I have my place, and let's go. So the draft comes, and I was drafted on the first day in the 8th round to Tampa. So it's only a 3.5 hour drive from Miami to Tampa. So I literally just I had my car. I got in my car, packed up my shit, went there, and it was great. And Mark Trestman was our head coach, so shout out to Mark. He was with the Bears for a few years, very successful up in the CFL, and obviously it was COVID related too. That's why our season kind of folded. But the traveling, we played at Raymond James, where they just had the Super Bowl last year. Played at MetLife, CenturyLink out in Seattle. Some of the coolest. We played out in LA, which is right by where the Chargers and Rams new stadium is. There's like a very nice professional soccer field, which that was before SoFi was even built. But yeah, it was just, world-class facilities, great film. And I know the XFL is coming back in 2023, which will be interesting too. Obviously, The Rock bought it now, Dana Garcia and Redbird Capital. But yeah, while I was there in Tampa, the XFL was great. The fans loved it. Yeah.
I thought it was awesome because in the spring, all I watch on TV is football. I watch sports.
Yeah.
So having that in the spring was awesome because you go to like BW3s and it's on.
Yep.
So I don't have to watch baseball.
Right, yeah. And a big thing with all these pro spring leagues is the TV deals. That's the biggest juggernaut that certain leagues have handled. And with the XFL, they had a good amount of partnerships, and even ones that are coming up that I'm hearing just through the chatter of the world. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, man. I'm excited for what's to come for not only that, but myself with either the CFL. Hopefully we get another league shot, and then there's another pro spring league, the USFL, that's coming up too, that just secured a TV deal with Fox Sports for $150 million. So that over like 3.5 years, 4 years. So that'll be really exciting too, kind of how they'll have I think a really big announcement next week sometime too. So, but yeah, should be exciting things to come.
Little exclusive USFL.
I know, yeah. So we'll see.
How was it like when you were playing in Miami? How was it scoring your first touchdown?
Yeah. Trips right, 218 tout on the center. That's the play call. I will never forget that. My boy Trent Irwin, he's with the Bengals now. Ironically enough, we were in Miami and Cincy together. He's number 16. That's my guy. He was motioning over from the left. I was the receiver out on the right, and he was the slot. And he had kind of like I had like a V route. So basically, for whoever doesn't know what that means, you go in at the safety and then you break out to the back pylon. This play was on like the 5-yard line, so it's not like a big deep shot route. It's more of like a goal line, getting the damn end zone. So Trenton's motioning over from the left to the right. He's the slot now on the right. I'm the outside receiver. He kind of skips off the line and then breaks out to the front pylon. I run the V route to the back pylon. Safety bites on Trenton because he sees him skipping off and he's the slot. And yeah, I kind of open up late in the back of the end zone, and we're playing New Orleans. And Jake Ruddock, who was the quarterback, Michigan grad, he hits me right there, and it was such a good feeling, man. What was even better was my whole family was in the stands to celebrate that moment with me too. So my brother, parents, and not like quieting a crowd. There was probably around like 50, 60 because New Orleans is so passionate with their football. And it was just so hype, kind of, get excited with the linemen, quarterback, everybody, all the coaching staffs giving you, props and all that. So very cool moment, to say the least. Yeah. Still have the ball to this day. Still have the football. So, yeah, you don't let go of that one.
How hard was the playbook?
Oh, man, yeah. And even in the spring leagues that I've been in, obviously Europe was a little bit thinner, but the NFL playbooks are very deep. And that's why I just have so much respect. One of thousands, millions of reasons for everyone that I've met throughout the league, players and athletes, is just their capacity to understand a playbook, get it, and yeah, I'm telling you, things about like a dictionary times 30 as far as like the sizing of the print and like all you need to know because you have 2-minute drill, you have no huddle, you have first down, second out, third down, fourth, obviously, and then quarterback wants to signal you this and that. Yeah, you got to just be on your P's and Q's, and it could be something so slight as a quarterback's looking left and he's motioning you something right here to your left, so you literally can't. I missed a signal one time, and it was awful because I was looking to see. We broke the huddle, and this was in Miami, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then Fitzy baby, I was lucky enough to be in the huddle with him at the time, and he motioned, and I was on the left, and I just peeked to see if it was 2 or 1 high for the safeties, and he gave me a signal, and I missed it, and he ripped my ass for it, and I'll never forget this. That's why I'll never take my eyes off the quarterback until literally they look at the center as well. So yeah, very deep playbook, but that's your job. So you gotta dial in. You gotta put the phone away at times, because I know we all are kind of accustomed to be glued to phone, tablets, yada yada, and just study the heck out of it too, and we'll rock and roll. Yeah.
What do you think's the favorite team you've played for in your football career?
Cathedral Fighting Irish, man. Let's go. So no, I always, because Cathedral molded me into what I am right now, and just helped propel me to get to that level because of the coaching staff, the players, the support system, and just everything in between. But as far as favorite, man, I had a really good, very good camp and experience, and just playing in Miami and Cincinnati. Those are probably two where I shine the most. And the NFL is a business at the end of the day. That's what a lot of people don't really understand until you go through it, or you live vicariously through somebody. But yeah, had a great camp and great time in Miami and Cincinnati. Became really good boys with everyone there, and which propelled me to the next stepping stone. And for that, I'm forever thankful. And I'm so excited to see what's to come, because there's a lot of good. We like to call it irons in the fire. A lot of things coming up in the near future here, and still keep in touch with a lot of the boys to this day. So it's really cool to see them doing so well, and have them text you as well when you're doing good, and even not good, just checking in, because anybody can hit you up and text you or call you when things are going great and things are awesome in your life. But when you hit a little bit of adversity, and a lot of people, might be a little bit more quiet, this and that, but the real ones out there that you boys, will find out, if you haven't already, you'll find out real quick that it's the real ones, your friend group and your entourage circle, whatever, that they hit you up and they check in on you, not every day, but every, week, checking in. Hey, how you doing, man? Like this and that. Or they're coming to, hey, fly down to see me, fly out to see me, this and that. Let's link up, whatever. They're checking in on you when things are not maybe going so well too. Those are the people who you want in your corner. So, yeah.
So throughout the NFL, overseas, XFL, and coming back, how do you stay with it?
Oh man, dude, there's nothing like it. And honestly, I have a lot of business that I handle off the field, which kind of helps me put my mind at ease too. Like, as long as I keep up with my workouts, which I always do, because going back to the pre-NFL combine training at St. Vincent's, they literally taught me how to work out. They taught me how to run. They taught me how to eat right. They taught me how to recover right too. So I've taken that and just applied it to my whole life, and I do it on my daily regimen. And it might sound redundant, but it's so true. And then it helps you be your best when your best is needed. And I think that is a huge testament to, again, shout out to St. Vincent's for, really molding me into be kind of the best version of myself, to help me be, when that time was called. But how do I stay with it? That's the $1 million question. It's, I'm never going to be this, and this is for any athlete, right now, this is for me, at least, I won't speak on anybody else. It's literally the best shape I'm ever in. I feel like I'm 24 right now, and I turned 28 back in February. But it's like, you find those tricks, and you learn from maybe others of how to keep your body the best, self, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. And then that's kind of what keeps you on your A game. I wish I would have hit on that topic a little bit more at your guys' talk last night. Kind of, again, for those who are playing in high school that are going to college, that talent level, the bar starts to raise. Maybe you're a 5-star in high school, you go to college, you're surrounded by a lot of 5-stars now. So what are you doing differently to separate yourself from Joe Schmo that's from Ohio, you're from Indiana, and you're both at wherever? It's, people are asking why Brady plays until he's 70 probably or whatever, and I'm sure that's a whole nother story right there. I got the chance to meet Tom Brady, which is the coolest thing in the world. Just what are you doing differently? And that's what I love to do, and why I still go, and I've had these opportunities of playing at the highest level, and whether it's pro, spring leagues, NFL. Also, for those of you who don't know, I'm not even supposed to be in this chair right now. I was supposed to be on a flight yesterday to Canada for their pro league in the CFL. I was supposed to sign with them, but I guess Canadians have a priority over there because it's their pro spring league, or their pro league, excuse me. And their GM called me on Tuesday, and he was like, "Hey, Reece, we had a Canadian guy who we signed back because he had priority and he played for us previously. Let me juggle the roster around. Hopefully we'll get you on a flight out here next week." So I'm actually glad that didn't happen, because I loved, being here, talking to you guys last night, and then hopefully seeing you guys, freaking win tonight. Let's go. But to answer your long story short, how do I keep it going, man? It's all about discipline, all about habits, and it's all about, like I said, don't worry about where you're at now. Just make sure you're doing something about it to where, it's going to propel you somewhere else in the future. So,
as a free agent, what does your everyday life look like?
Goodness, yeah. So I'm partnered with 2 companies, so I do a lot of work with them off the field too. Obviously, you get your workouts in. Obviously, you travel a lot. You kind of get your mind off of football here and there to a certain extent. And then, yeah, man, when that call comes, because I've experienced it more times than not, you just got to make sure you're ready too. So, I'm again do a lot of good work with Balance Athletica. It's a clothing line I'm partnered with too. A supplement company that they're awesome. Their name is Beam out of Nashville. And then also been interviewing up at St. Vincent's to kind of help Brandon out with their athletes, their nutrition department too. And yeah, just traveling a little bit, man, having fun, just staying out of trouble and then staying in shape, keeping that vision alive and rolling too. So it's nice to have a little bit of free time, a little leeway, but then again, your schedule can get really busy too when the season rolls around, because it's always a matter of time when. And then you have no social life. So, yeah, you just got to be dialed in. So, yep.
Well, what's next for you think? CFL?
Yeah. So, again, I'm not supposed to be here right now, but, yeah, either a CFL contract or in the next couple months, man, the USFL Pro Spring League's coming out. And they were huge back in the day, kind of like the XFL. And they saw an opportunity, because the XFL is not coming back for another year plus, to really, jump on in. And one of I had the privilege of playing with Hal Mumme, who's kind of like the inventor of the air raid offense. And if you guys don't know what that means out there, it basically means we throw the ball a lot, or Hal throws the ball a lot too. So one of the Pro Spring Leagues I played in, he was my head coach, and literally I loved his system. Obviously, we got tons of action. We ended up winning the whole championship in the Spring League. And he is one of the front runners, I do believe, for one of the head coaching jobs in the USFL that's coming back. And I think preseason starts just the end of February. So really not like a couple months out. So was talking to him, and a lot of good things there too. They haven't announced anything yet, but again, next week they probably will. And yeah, so like when we say irons in the fire, we don't just say that to say it. We say it because there's things rolling. So I'm excited, man. Like I said, it's all about it's not about the destination. It's about the journey to get to the destination too, man. And whatever happens, whether it's another NFL contract, a CFL contract, or a Pro Spring League contract too, you just got to ball and represent Cathedral, represent where you're from, your friends, your family, the best way you can. And that might not even be sports. Also, for everybody out there, it could be whatever you're passionate in, whatever you're, who's your guys' teammate? It's his first year, number 75.
John.
Yeah, he told me, yesterday that he takes ballet, and I was like, dude, that's awesome, man. And he was kind of talking to me about the whole walk-on process, and because he doesn't have a lot of film, it's his first year and all that. And I was like, dude, like, do you like football? And he's like, yeah, actually, so far I'm loving it, this and that. And I was like, well, you're taking ballet, so you're probably really good on your feet, man. So that helps you as like an offensive, defensive lineman.
He's light on his feet.
Yeah, exactly. So he can
do the splits.
Really? Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. I do yoga twice a week. Still can't even do that. So yeah. But yeah. So that's what's next for me, man. And I couldn't be more excited. Couldn't be more focused and ready to roll. I got to get you boys to a game. So we gotta coordinate. I know I got your number and all that too, but would love to have you guys down wherever I end up, man. So we'll make it happen.
We'll definitely be watching, and we're excited for your future. But thank you for coming on the podcast today. You can follow us on Instagram at VFTH Podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Go Cathedral High School. I'm Seth Minter, Drew Ditto, Jack Going. Thank you, Reece.
Yeah, appreciate you, boys. Appreciate it.